Hey there, how we all doing today? Today we are taking a look at a very unusual Seiko watch. It is a speed timer solar chronograph. Now, what's unusual about this is the way it looks. This watch, here we got the Prospex, and it's got the special white box instead of the usual black box. Here, the white box celebrating the 110th anniversary of Seiko wristwatches. This watch comes with the extra strap, and here we got it here. Take it out of the plastic so you can get a better look at it here. It's kind of a new strap. It's kind of like a bicolor. You got the dark leather on the edge there, and then the lighter leather on the inside. We've seen that design in some of the Presage pieces, but this one here with the Prospex, this is the Prospex Solar speed timer chronograph. Now let's take a look at this very unusual watch. Now take a look at it here. So they split it up. It almost looks like a car dashboard, or the dial on a bike. They've done this design before, where it's got all the different little faces on there, and this one is a limited edition of 3,500. See if you can see it there on the back dial there. Again, a limited edition of 3,500, and this is at 8A50 solar caliber. And the model number is SFJ009. So this one here is one of the 110th anniversary of Seiko wristwatches. Seiko's been around for over 140 years, but specifically wristwatches are celebrating. In that celebration, they kind of go with the white dial. So you have the white dial on the outside that kind of encapsulates the whole entire dial with all the little sub dials in it. So again, it is a solar, and the operational charge for it when fully charged is 6 months on the watch. And this one has an overcharge prevention function, and the chronograph goes up to 60 minutes in 1/100th of a second increments. And it also has a battery life warning function. So it's got a lot of little things going on there to kind of help you with the solar. Is kind of hit and miss, but it's nice that they've added those functions and that they don't overcharge. So you can see it's kind of like a stopwatch too, if you're looking at it there. And this one is 100 meters or 10 bar water resistance. It's got a curved sapphire crystal and anti-reflective coating on the inner surface. And it's got the lume bright hands and on the indexes. So very cool watch overall. This one is supposed to celebrate a speed timer, and this reminds me of they had a kinetic speed timer back in the 90s, and very similar to this, except it was the whole face was kind of like a stainless steel, and they had the different compartments set in there instead of it being into the dial like this one. This one gives it a little bit of a cleaner look than that old watch in the 90s. It's just an interesting watch. It's different and definitely unique. So if you like those pieces that'll kind of get you attention, or people asking you, hey, what's that? This watch kind of definitely does that. So you got the subdial hands. You've got the red there. It's the red on the hands on the subdials are in honor of the laurel, the first Seiko wristwatch. Again, this goes back to the 110th anniversary. And then so you got the white as the main dial, and then the sub-dials are black, and that helps increase the legibility when looking at this. And it makes a subtle nod to the older speed timers, but again, this one really feels like a reissue of the 90s Kinetic one. And Kinetic, yeah, man, that's a movement you don't hear about anymore with Seiko, huh? Seiko Kinetic, I remember that was like the big deal. Half of their watches were Kinetic, and then they went back into automatic. I wonder what happened to the Kinetics, like why they decided to kind of abandon it. I know the first bunch of Kinetics really didn't work too well, but at the end they did start working pretty good. So I'm sure there's a whole story in that. And here you can see the watch on my wrist, and it's got a lot of wrist presence, definitely, when you're looking at this guy here. It's sure to get a lot of attention, like I said, with the unusual dial and the sub-dials on there. Size-wise, this is a 42 millimeter watch. Lug to lug, it's 48.3 millimeters, and the thickness of this guy is 12.9, so it's not super thick for such a big looking watch. Again, it's got the curved sapphire crystal, to help against any scratches and stuff, because the crystal's pretty much right out there. And then if you like changing the straps, this one does come with the extra leather strap, but between the lugs it is 20 millimeters. And there you can see the thickness. Let's take this in the dark. Now this is a little unusual when you're looking at it in the dark. When I first saw this, I was like, it looks like a watch ring or something, because the main dial is so small, but then they illuminate it, so it's kind of like a mini version of a watch that you're wearing on your wrist when you see it in the dark. Luckily, I guess the other sub dials aren't really lit up, so it doesn't create any confusion, but I just find it strange to have a tiny loomed up dial there. But I mean, how else would you, I guess, expect it to look in the dark? So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. I appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good one.